as I started to do stuff on the internet and kind of like figured out, oh, I'm good at this and I like doing this, I really did start to get horrific internet pushback, as you can imagine, from people
Hmm.
being like, oh, you're brown, you shouldn't be in this
Yeah.
space, you shouldn't be allowed to be at that company or this company talking about that stuff, you're a token hire, you're diversity hire, you're not
Hmm.
qualified, you're this and this and this. And that kind of like radicalized me to like be way aware of social
Hmm.
injustice and social inequality at a social level, and me go,
Hmm.
oh, wait a minute, yeah, that's actually really fucked up and it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
And then I think it opened up my mind to like how marginalized groups are represented, underrepresented, what they kind of deal with, even at a level of like, dude, I'm hired here to talk about comic books and
Hmm.
movies, with a bunch of different people from different backgrounds. And like, we're just here to have a good time. And you're bringing this into the conversation. And,
Right.
but it's all tied in, Brian. It's all tied in together, man. White
Hmm.
supremacy, at the end of the day, it's the number one problem in the United States, maybe the world. And it's so
Yeah.
crazy that like even the fun job of like, you have to go talk about superhero movies. You still have to deal with that. Dude, I thought that the writer strike, I didn't even consider the past week or so as everybody was talking about hope we don't have to strike, but it looks like we're going to. And then I'm seeing people break this down and go, but this also has to deal with white supremacy. This also has to deal with the people in
Hmm.
power who
Hmm.
are mostly these CEO guys that love to buy Patagonia vests and spend their money on yachts, not
Yeah.
wanting to share. I'm like reading things about like, oh, Latin representation, Latino representation in movies are now at the levels that they were in 2019 or earlier. And I'm like, yeah,
Hmm.
things are not getting but like, and I feel like there's a pushback that's happened honestly since 2016, since Donald Trump was elected president.
Yeah.
There was a whiplash of the rest of the United States being like, whoa, like
Yeah. I mean,
we didn't like Obama for 8 years, so now we're gonna really try to over course correct and pick on
yeah.
marginalized groups and pick on trans people and do all this stuff that you're like, this how it wasn't this bad when we were children. I mean,
I don't think so. I mean, it was
it was
unspoken.
there.
It
It was,
was
yes,
there, but
exactly.
now it's out in the
Yeah.
open. And yeah, what we're seeing so much of is like, yeah, these rich fucks who, the people who are like getting hit the hardest are the people who are at the lower levels of writing. And for the most part, because of how the industry has operated for the last
Yeah.
ever,
Yeah.
it is people who are from underrepresented backgrounds. And
Yeah.
so it's whether that's purposeful or just a consequence of like the lower level writers are the ones getting hit the hardest. It is still a function of white supremacy. It is still a
Absolutely.
function
Yeah.
of, yeah, it's a
I
that's
think
what
I think
we're up against.
I think there are some, to be honest, I think there are some specific like decisions being made at the top that I do think are like purposeful. Like
I agree. No,
right?
I
That
definitely agree. Yeah.
I'm sure that there are some inwardly secretive racist people in Hollywood,
Sure.
duh, because they're the
Of
people like
course.
that
They're
everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
But I'm like, man, the decision to like cancel the movie Batgirl,
Mm-hmm.
knowing the optics of that, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, somewhere up the food chain there, somebody made the call and be like, and they were like, also because she's a like an Afro Latina. Let's pull the plug on that.
Yeah.
But I do believe there's also obviously what we're discussing is this sort of unconscious
No, I think it's both.
bias that exists.
I think it's
Absolutely,
both.
absolutely.
Because if
But
you look at,
yeah,
you hear a lot, like just on my side as a writer, you hear a lot about like, oh yeah, we're looking for what's going to appeal to middle America. And
yeah,
that is code for what is white and safe.
right, right,
And
right.
what have we been watching for 50
But
years?
it's funny because I don't. When I said I was like radicalized, and I try to really, really, really be aware of stuff, but
Hmm.
also have gone down some like the annoying deep rabbit holes of like just misery as I've tried to argue with white supremacists on Twitter years ago, or I tried to like defend myself or whatever, and it took like people who love me to be like, Hector, stop, like you got to stop,
Yeah.
like just block this person and just or again, if we're men, we can use our whatever position we have or whatever platform, like uplift the voices of the people who need to, like, that's when I was like, okay,
Absolutely.
I need to
Yeah.
try to do that as much as possible.